prepare yourself, because it's time to duel!
Hey, what's up everybody? It's me, Yemmy the Ferret here, with an episode of Rebuilding My Deck. This time around, we're doing something special. We're showing off my zombie-focused deck. Now, I'm mostly using Speed Duel stuff, because that's the majority of what I have that actually works with this kind of thing. I did get a zombie structure deck, but I'm deciding not to use the cards from that. Not because they're overpowered or anything like that, but buying a structure deck and building a deck from booster packs is two different things. But we'll see, because there's a few cards in that structure deck that I would like to use. Like there's this Scape Ghost card that gives you 4 ghost tokens, which is pretty good for defending yourself. So I probably will add that to my deck eventually. But for right now, I'm focusing mostly on Speed Duel cards. I think there's only one card in here that's not a Speed Duel card so far. And yeah, so we're going to go ahead and activate our second camera. And we're going to look at our rarer cards first, because I don't want to take them out of their box just yet, or out of the packaging, because, it's not like I'm actually going to do with them. So one of the first ones to show is the Vampire Lord. Now, the cool thing about this one is, yes, you do need the sacrifice for him, but he is a dark zombie card with an effect, and the effect is pretty good. So you can declare one type of card, spell, trap, or monster, and your opponent sends one card of that monster from their deck to the graveyard, and once this card is destroyed, it has to be by a card effect. You can actually summon that card to your field, so it's actually not too bad. Some things have to align for it to work correctly, but it's still a pretty nice card with over 2,000 attack. So that's why I'm putting that one in the deck. Of course, you can't go anywhere without a Dust Tornado. I just like the nice holo on this one. You can destroy one spell or trap card, and then you'll have to discard, or you can place one card after doing that on the field. So I would have more. I do have 2 of these, so I would definitely put 2 of them in my deck for sure. Next one is the Forceful Checkpoint. This card is really nice because when an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can look at your opponent's hand, and if there's a monster card, you can negate the attack and discard that monster from the player's hand. So, pretty cool. Not bad at all. And then finally, of course, I would definitely put the Night Beam card in there. I do have 2 of these now, so I definitely would put both of them in the deck. That's just targeting one spell or trap card your opponent controls and destroying it, and the opponent cannot activate a card in response to this card, which is pretty nice. So yeah, that's the rarer cards there. So my main deck is pretty well filled here. I mean, I've opened 2 booster boxes now, so it better be. What we're gonna do is we're just gonna take this and we're gonna shuffle. Let's see. So I want to do it like this, so they're all the same direction. We're gonna shuffle it twice. Split the deck. Remember which way I did it. Okay, there we go. God, I don't want to bend the cards either, but there we go. So, just for fun, let's see what our first 5 cards we would draw. So, oh yes, okay, so Sphere Karibo, very good card. Literally has the same effects as regular Karibo, but the one thing to notice is Sphere Karibo is a dark card. I'm pretty sure normal Karibo is too. So, technically I do have a Karibo, so I could put it in my deck, but I just have the Sphere Karibo in there now. So I'll tell you about why the dark is a requirement for this card. So let's put that in the card graveyard, huh? So number 2 card, Robin Zombie. This is a good one. It's a continuous trap card, if my camera focus. If you inflict battle damage to your opponent, you can send the top card of their deck to the graveyard. And this is continuous. It's very good. Also, the continuous thing does play a role later as well. I believe you draw 5 cards, the first one. So Decayed Commander. This is good to keep saved in your hand until you get a Zombie Tiger, because the Zombie Tiger works well with this card. Technically it becomes like a equipped card, and it raises the attack. And also, whenever you do a direct attack, you can discard one random card from your opponent's hand, so that's nifty. Polymerization, good card to have in your hand. I do have a polymerization, I do have a fusion card in here, so definitely would require that. And then the last card, oh shit, okay, so we drew 2 polymerization cards. Let's say that didn't happen. Okay, so Spellbinding Circle, way better. Pretty much activate it when a monster tries to attack you, and then this card, stops them from attacking. Unlike the anime, it does not reduce their attack. So yeah, let's just go through the rest of the cards here, just like a regular Yu-Gi-Oh opening. Like I said, most of these cards are from Speed Duels. I believe there's really only one card in here that's not from Speed Duels. So yeah, we got the snake hair here. And there's our fusion card. That would be in the extra deck. I accidentally put it in my deck. But that would be in the extra deck. I do have 3. I have way more than I need, of course. But I do have a bunch of those in my deck as well. Beginning of the End is a good card to have because most of my cards are dark. This requires dark cards, so you have to have 7 in your graveyard. And you can draw 3 cards, and you have to banish 5 of them. So that's why I was saying with Spheric Rebo, it's very important that it's a dark card. Same thing with the Great Mammoth, the Gold Fiend, and stuff like that. All cards that are dark, through battle, they'll if the duel goes long enough, you'll get 7 of them in your graveyard pretty fast. Especially because I'm going to put some of the weaker zombie cards in my deck as well. Fighting Spirit. So I put this one in my deck because the equipped monster will gain 300 attack for each monster your opponent controls, and if the monster would be destroyed, you can actually destroy this card instead, so that's really nice. Reinforcements, just a nice way to punish your opponent. If they attack you, you can flip this card, and the equipped card will gain 500 attack until the end of the turn. Another Spellbinding Circle. Wasteland, of course you gotta have Wastelands in your deck if you're using zombie cards. All dinosaurs and zombies and rock monsters on the field gain 200 attack and defense. Another Wasteland there. Veil of Darkness. During your draw phase, if you draw a dark monster, you can reveal any number of them and send them to the graveyard, and then draw 1 more card. So this is, of course, a continuous spell card, and it's good for trying to activate the beginning of the end. That's why it's in the deck. Dragon Zombie is fusion material for the Great Mammoth Gold Find, and plus I like that card. So there's the Zombie Tiger. Like I said, if you have a Decayed Commander and you special summon him, or if you summon him to the field, you can summon this card along with him and use him as an equip card, and it just kind of makes him more dangerous. Call the Haunted, a good card to have. You're able to resurrect a monster from your graveyard. Summon Skull, this is the one card that is not a Speed Duel card that's in my deck. I just needed a fusion card, a sacrifice card. And I believe it takes 2 sacrifices to summon him, but it is a dark monster, and he is a fiend, and the Summon Skull is a pretty good card, so that's why I just wanted to have something a little bit more heavy-duty in the deck. This is not the Speed Duel version. There's no Speed Duel on the bottom, but there is a version of this card for Speed Duels, so I would replace that if I was doing a Speed Duel. But this card can be treated as 2 tributes for a tribute summon of a dark monster. So in conjunction with the Summon Skull, that would work really well. Another Robin Zombie. Mask of the Accursed. I have a few of these in my deck because there are some cards that just can't be killed by battle, so you would put a Mask of the Accursed to them. The equipped monster cannot attack, and once per turn, your opponent takes 500 damage for each monster that's equipped with one of these. Here's a Violet Crystal. This is a great card to have in your deck for zombies as well. Is equipped only to a zombie monster, and it gains 300 attack and defense in conjunction with Wasteland. That can be a killer combo. Zombie Tiger, another Mask of the Accursed. Pyramid of Wonders. Now, I only have one of these. Or maybe I have 2. I think I have 2. But this is another one of those cards that's good to have in a zombie deck. So, all zombie monsters you control gain 200 attack for each monster your opponent controls. If exactly one zombie monster you control and no other cards would be destroyed, you can send this card to the graveyard instead. It's a very, very nice card. Iron Blacksmith Kotetsu. Now, you might be wondering why I have a Fire and Beast Warrior monster in my deck. That's because his flip ability is to add one equip card from your deck to your hand, which allows you to get the Violet Crystal or the Mask of the Accursed with one flip. Oh, accidentally drew two. DK Commander. Possessed Dark Soul. I have a few of these in the... I think I have a few of them in the deck. I might have only put one in for the video. But essentially, you can take over all face-up level 3 or lower monsters on your opponent's side of the field. And this works really well if your opponent is using a Marshmallow. Zombie Tiger. Dispel, a card that I cannot live without. If your opponent has some Toon monsters on the field and you take out Toon World, this works really well. Just destroy one face-up spell or trap card on the field. Yeah, and if the target is set, you can reveal it as well, just to see what it is. Snake Hair, gotta have a few of those in your deck. Blastsphere. This is another card that I put in here because it's a dark card, even though it's machine. But it's also a very good card to have as well, because once you flip it, it attaches onto your opponent, and guess what? The next turn, that monster is destroyed. Blastsphere is an excellent card. Goblin Zombie. Not a great card, I just like the look of it and the name. But if this card inflicts damage to your opponent directly, or not directly, but just to your opponent in general, you can send the top card of their deck to the graveyard, and if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, add one zombie monster with 1200 or less defense from your hand to your deck. So that's pretty much any zombie card, including the Goblin Zombie. Spell, beginning at the end. Common Charity. You can draw 2 cards, then banish one normal monster from your hand, or if you have none, send your entire hand to the graveyard. So if you like luck-based cards, this is one, especially if you don't have any cards in your hand. Another Goblin Zombie. Another Wasteland. Jar of Greed. This is a good card to have. Just flip it and draw one card. Of course, the Pot of Greed is pretty much defunct now, but, Jar of Greed still works. Violet Crystal. Another Blacksmith. Dweller of the Depths. So, the reason I have this card in my hand, yes, it is a dragon card. Yes, it should not be in my deck, a zombie deck, but it gains 300 attack for each continuous spell in your spell and trap zone. So if you have a bunch of these cards that are continuous on the field, like the Robin Zombie and stuff like that, this card works really well, and it gains a lot of points just by having it on the field. Sword of Destruction is an equip card for a dark monster. It gains 400 attack and loses 200 defense, which doesn't really matter if you're putting it onto a zombie card. Oh, there's my second Pyramid of Wonder. Common Charity. Dragon Zombie. Infernity Beast. So, once again, I pretty much only have this card in my hand because it is a dark monster. But if I do use it, if this card attacks while I have no cards in my hand and your opponent cannot activate... okay. So if this card attacks while you have no cards in your hand, your opponent cannot activate any spells or traps until after the damage step, so that can open them up for a direct attack if they have no monsters on the field. The Shallowed Grave, I think I only have one of these in my deck because each player targets one monster in their own graveyard, and they special summon it to the field in face-down defense position. So pretty much it helps out the other player as well, so that's why I only have one in my deck. Trap Jammer. When your opponent activates a trap card during the battle phase, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. Really good card. Magic Jammer, of course. When a spell card is activated, discard it. Discard one card and negate the activation. Sword of Destruction, Violet Crystal, Dispel, and Decayed Commander. So, I think I would have been screwed if I was in a duel with this deck right now. I've tried to design this deck so that no matter what first 5 or 6 cards I have, something works out, that's really the reason why I've put so many of these, what you would say would be sucky cards in here. I like this deck. I think it's a good one. I'm going to try it out in some duels. Yeah, I have some duels recorded with player 2 for the older version of this deck, so I may show those after this video. But anyways, thank you for watching. I am Yemmy the Ferret, and this has been revealing my deck.